Hello there! You have stumbled upon the 74th episode of the show Too Long, Didn't Scroll. The show for you, if you're a person who struggles to scroll through their long newsfeed every day and would prefer some quickly listenable format instead. Find the show on platforms like YouTube and other platforms like major podcast apps, Instagram, and TikTok. We start day 74 of the show, April the 3rd of 2023, in the country of Ukraine, where the Russo-Ukrainian war remains ever constant as series of Russian offensives attempt another breakthrough past Ukrainian lines. The Russian private military company, the Wagner Group, owned by so-called Putin chef Yevgeny Prigozhin, has concentrated significant effort into taking the vital city of Bakhmut in the eastern Bakhmut region. The seizure or successful defense of the city would mean a vital victory for either side, both tactically and symbolically for national morale. As such, fierce fighting between Ukrainian defenders and Wagner Group members have completely devastated the city and surrounding area, as fighting occurs right within the streets of the city center, which the city's mayor has stated is now completely devastated past the point of no return on a scale likened to that of the World Wars. However, as of today, it appears the battle may be beginning to reach its end, albeit much dispute, with Prigozhin's announcement that Russian-aligned forces have assumed quote-unquote legal control of the city and that victory in its entirety is imminent. Ukrainian forces and officials have heavily disputed this claim that Bakhmut is now under Russian control, pointing to Ukrainian soldiers still dug into the city's western districts. Despite these claims, Prigozhin has claimed that Wagner forces have raised the Russian flag over the Bakhmut city hall. The only time will tell if Bakhmut is truly under Russian control. We now move on to the topic of earthquakes, of which multiple occurred on the day of recording. We start off in the country of Papua New Guinea, where in the East Sepik province, a magnitude 7.1 earthquake has struck. The earthquake, with its epicenter near the remote Chambri Lake, proceeded to destroy several houses and fishing villages, killing a reported at least 4 people in the process. The country's National Disaster Center has stated it is now conducting assessments of the damage to the region. Another earthquake has also struck in the country of Russia, in the far eastern region of the peninsular Kamchatka Krai. There, a magnitude 6.6 earthquake proceeded to rumble the region and cause damage in the city's capital of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, causing minor damage and forcing the Mutovskaya power plant to temporarily shut down. The region has experienced several minor to major earthquakes in the past few months. We now concern ourselves with the ongoing inflation surge, sending the prices of several commodities around the world soaring, including food, oil, gas, electricity, and other goods. Oil and gas was a notable indicator around the world of the coming meteoric rise of inflation rates with increasingly higher prices per gallon ever since February of last year. However, any hope of recent oil prices continuing to remain calm for now have been resoundingly quashed with a recent announcement by OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, composed of oil-rich countries like Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and more. They account for around 44% of the world's oil production. As of today, OPEC has announced they will be slashing production output by 1.16 million barrels per day, which caused a jump in Brent crude oil prices from $4.30 to $84.19, and American crude oil from $4.17 to $79.84, around a 2,000% price increase. Analysts have stated that this move by OPEC is in line with doctrines to secure as much profit from oil production as possible through manipulation of supply, thanks to its secure stranglehold over world oil and gas markets. Let's talk about the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, the famed American government agency responsible for the country's endeavors into space, like the Apollo missions, which famously sent multiple teams of astronauts from the moon from 1969 to 1972. The Apollo program has since ended. The moon exploration may be back on the market for America with its participation in the new Artemis program, a joint effort between NASA, the European Space Agency, the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency, with goals of establishing permanent bases on the moon and beginning human exploration of Mars. As of today, NASA has announced it has officially selected a roster of astronauts to participate in the Artemis II mission, which will place Americans on the moon again for the first time since Apollo 17. These include astronauts Ryan Weissman, Christina Koch, Jeremy Hansen, and Victor J. Glover. It is expected these astronauts will be making their way for the moon by the end of 2024. In other news, an apparent arson attack at a hospital has injured 4 people in the German capital city of Berlin, and the capsizing of a boat in Lake Kivu in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has left 6 dead and 64 others missing.